So it turns out that the director of communications that, was handling all of that was a foodie. She was real into food and wine, and said, a farmer has never contacted us. You can, have one of these interviews. So I had never given an interview in my life. And so I gave this interview, and I asked him about, the mom and pop business thing, because he's real knowledgeable about that, just all the layers when it's, small. There's family, there's not a lot of people to do a lot of the things. He definitely understood what I was asking, but that was a short interview. And so then when I was on the phone with Brother Ben X during that discovery call, I finally felt like I had worn away a lot of the nervous edges and inability to actually say what I meant and what I was really seeking an answer for. And I just told him, I would like to make content about the Nation of Islam. I would like to share about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I want to just speak on it, because I've been out here all these years with just materials and books and trying to talk to people, and I'm really not having, a connection with the people that come through, because they don't really want their life to change, perhaps, in the level that it might if they really, squared up with the truth that I was talking about. So he was the first person that really just listened to me, gave me one of his pauses that he does. It seemed like eternity, but it wasn't probably more than 60 seconds, if even that. And he said, I think you can do that. I think you can do that. You can do your stuff about food and natural remedies and mix in your perspective on the teachings, and then you can be there for people like you who also have come across the teachings, who have questions, and you can be there. And so that really changed my life, big time, right? I don't need to really to necessarily explain all of it, but it was such a pivotal moment to really have somebody be like, you're all right. You can do that. You have permission to do that. And then the next month, probably not even, it might have only been a couple weeks, but it was, that was April. And then in May, they removed the minister's accounts from social media. And I was going through some personal situations, and I looked forward to his messages every single day. I was really primarily on Instagram because of that Gary Vaynerchuk conversation. He had me looking up, I didn't even know what Instagram was at that time. I Googled it as soon as I got off the phone. I had an iPhone 4, and I actually talked to him on a landline and recorded it on, one of those, it was a paid service, so it was free conference call, this was a long time ago, right? It's 10 years ago, all the things that we can do super easily now. But so it was a big deal. He said, I think you'd find fertile ground, no pun intended, on Instagram, and you should definitely get on Instagram and Pinterest too. And, of course, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, but go on Instagram. And so I was really rooted in Instagram. And so when they removed the minister's accounts, I was most familiar with making content on Instagram. And I just woke up in the morning. I was actually just half hoping that they would, gotten a lot of response and been like, oh, right, we can't do that. We can't do that any more than we can ban the Pope from social media. So we're gonna come back on that. But when I was like, really, this is it, and then that's when I just kind of, I hadn't even looked in the mirror that day. I was really going through it with my teenagers and just in a very challenging time of my life. And so I just hit record. I did a bunch of takes that I just said what I wanted to say, and I uploaded them, and just felt like I never really looked back. I didn't think about it. And I was kind of shocked. I didn't actually think anybody would see it. And but exactly what Brother Ben X said would happen, happened. I have really connected with people that are, fellow seekers of truth like me, other Caucasians. I've connected with all people in all walks of life, exactly like the teachings say. And so, I'm grateful that this little bird kind of got me on here, and Coach Khan, of course, in the classroom of ABS, always kind of saying you gotta get in there and tell your story and do that. And I really haven't been doing that. And so my phone was on 90%. That's one of the things that I just have been having different silly technological things that I get discouraged or whatever. But I'm in the middle of making farm cheese, so I bet my milk is warm enough. I gotta go in there and do all the things. But yeah, so until next time, it's Farmer Courtney. Peace.